What's going on, guys? Welcome back to my page. Got another quick video for you guys today. Today we're doing a video I've been promising for a while, and I'm just gonna get into a little bit of my background and how I got into modifying cars, and also why I took a year off of YouTube. So we're just kicking it today. I'm not too sure how many viewers this is gonna get. I'm not too sure how many people actually care. But on that note, let's jump straight into it. How it all started for me is I always had a fascination with how things worked. If you would have let me tell it a couple years ago, you couldn't tell me I wasn't gonna be a motorcycle technician. I almost went to school to be a Harley Davidson technician and a Yamaha tech. I always liked how things worked and putting the pieces together. That didn't end up happening. But the first thing I ever did was I used to ride dirt bikes. I'm not too sure if you guys are familiar with Maryland, but we have a big dirt bike culture. And I started off with dirt bikes. The first thing I ever did was I changed the clutch on my bike. And ever since that, I just been in love with working on things. After a while, I actually liked working on my bike more than actually riding it. And then next thing you know, I'm changing pistons and rings. I'm doing the timing on 4 strokes. I've had more dirt bikes than I can count. Once I realized that I had a talent for working on bikes, it came to me. I was like, you know what, let me start fixing up dirt bikes and selling them. You know, buy motorcycles that are out of timing or blown heads or bad pistons and rings, and just fix it and then resell it. So that was a business I got into for a while. I want to say around this time, guys, I was probably around maybe 14 years old. So that's how I first got into working on motors. And then after that, I went into working on cars. The first thing I ever did on a car was I changed the transmission. I changed the clutch in the transmission. I was probably, this time, I was probably like 15. This is when I first got my license. And ever since that, guys, I've just been slowly learning how to work on cars and slowly developing myself. So I've been working on cars for maybe 15 years at this point, because I'm 28 now. So that's how I got the courage to be able to work on cars. I've had so many cars, I've had so many dirt bikes, to the point to where I've worked on every type of car. I've worked on 4 strokes, I've worked on 2 strokes, I've worked on V8s, I've worked on V6s, I've worked on 4 cylinders. So after a while, you just start building confidence. How did I fall in love with Mercedes? I'm not too sure about the demographic who's watching me, but where I'm from, anytime you get any level of success, you buy a Benz, you know? So just growing up, seeing the older guys with Mercedes. And I'll never forget, at this point, I was probably around 17 years old, and my neighbor, he had a friend, and his friend had a E55 V8 supercharged Mercedes. And I'll never forget, I heard him pull up, and I'm looking out the window. So me being me, I just go outside and I'm chopping it up with my neighbor, and I start talking to his friend about his car. He let me sit in the car, he let me start it, and I can't lie, I fell in love with it. And ever since that, I've always been Mercedes crazy. So I think that's what sparked it for me. After that, I did have a SRT Charger, and then I had my C63. After years of working on cars, I know my limits. I know what I can do and I know what I can't do. I wouldn't suggest anybody who does not have years of experience and messing things up to do what I do. Because I've made so many mistakes and I know what's above my head. So when you're dealing with these level of cars, you have to know when to stop. I know when to ask for help. I've made some of the craziest mistakes, but luckily they were never too expensive. I really have a passion for working on cars. It's like everybody has their thing. This is the only thing I do. I'm not a big drinker. I don't smoke. So this is my habit. This is it for me. I love cars. I love motorcycles. That's how I got these scars on my hand. It's from motorcycles. I know a lot of people are curious about what I do for a living. I'm not really gonna get into that. I believe you have to be strategic, and I don't think that saying what I do for a living will positively affect me at this point. I will say, to get a car like this, you do need to make a substantial amount, or what I would call substantial. My rule of thumb is you don't want to spend more than you make in a year on a car. And really, it should be not even more than half. Before you get a car like this, you want to make sure that you have enough to take care of the maintenance of it and be able to still thrive after buying this car. I don't want to put a dollar amount on it. Moving on to just talking about why I took a year off of YouTube. People in my age group I'm 28 years old. I'm Jamaican. I was born in Jamaica. I still have family who are in Jamaica. So, just trying to balance getting my life in order and helping others. It just took a toll on me as far as my attention. So I just want to send a special thank you to all the people who have been supporting my page as we slowly grow. I really do appreciate it. But I have noticed that there's people watching my page who aren't subscribed. Subscribing to the page is free. It doesn't cost anything, and it helps me out tremendously. And if you find any value in these videos at all, just consider subscribing. So on that note, let's jump straight back into it. People in my age group, we're in this weird space. It's called the sandwich generation. What do I mean by that? It's like you're stuck in between trying to start a family of your own and dealing with aging parents. So you're right in the middle of that. And it is very difficult, because what you'll find is that your life will be put together, but trying to help other people who didn't prepare for retirement or just needs assistance, it's kind of hard, So it was just a strange time for me when I decided to stop doing YouTube content. It was taking a lot out of me, and sometimes you just need a break. The reason why I really like YouTube is because this is stuff I would have been doing anyways. Like, I know it's surprising to you guys, but whether I recorded it or not, whether I was on YouTube or not, I would still be doing the exact same things I'm doing right now. It was just a thought of mine to record what I find interesting, and hopefully other people might find it to be interesting also. I'm very grateful to be able to do the things that I'm doing and to do them comfortably. It's fun, I can't lie. I never thought I would be here at this point. God has blessed me. And there's been a couple pivotal moments in my life that has just changed the direction of my life entirely. The first I would have to say is just getting a mentor, and it wasn't even on purpose. I just had a manager at one of my previous employers take a shine to me and see some potential. And I would say that was the first mentor I had. And that guy really changed the whole direction of my life. He's the one that convinced me to stop smoking weed. He's the one that just convinced me that I could be more. He was my regional manager at the time. Working for him, I started getting some career development. I went from a regular sales associate to a mechanic, and then from a mechanic to an assistant store manager, then from an assistant store manager to a general manager. And just doing that at such of a young age really built my confidence to say, okay, this is possible. Like, I can actually do something with myself. He ended up getting a promotion. He went from working with stores to building new stores. So he was flying all around the country. He went on in his career, I went on in my career. And I want to say that was one of the biggest turning points in my life. So I kept growing, I kept developing myself. I kept changing. And that's the thing, guys. If you want to progress in life, you can't stay the same. You have to change. That's the hard part, is letting go of who you were to get to the next level. That's just a little bit about myself. Hopefully you guys see where my head is and get a little bit more understanding about who I am and how I think. Hopefully you guys find some value out of this video I made. And on that note, we're just gonna wrap it up. Till next time, guys, peace.